Breaking news from Anfield as Liverpool's transfer machinery shifts into overdrive. Bradley Barcola finds himself at the centre of a fierce tug-of-war between the Reds and Bayern Munich, whilst PSG desperately scrambles to tie down their prize winger. Meanwhile, Alexander ISAK has finally broken his silence on that earth-shattering £125 million British record move to Liverpool, revealing there's far more to this saga than meets the eye. And in a dramatic twist, Federico Chiesa's Anfield future hangs by a thread as it sensationally acts from Liverpool's Champions League squad, sending shockwaves through the red half of Merseyside. News 1. The transfer rumour mill is absolutely buzzing around Anfield, and Bradley Barcola has emerged as the hottest property in European football right now. The 22-year-old Paris Saint-Germain winger has caught the attention of both Liverpool and Bayern Munich, setting up what could be one of the most explosive transfer battles of the January window. However, PSG aren't going down without a fight, as Le Parisien reports that the French giant are preparing to offer Barcola a bumper new contract extension that would tie him down until the summer of 2030. This isn't just any ordinary contract negotiation. This is PSG's desperate attempt to ward off the vultures circling around their prize asset. Barcola has been nothing short of sensational this season, lighting up League One with his electrifying pace and clinical finishing. The young Frenchman's performances have sent scouts from Liverpool and Bayern into overdrive, with both clubs reportedly preparing substantial bids that could test PSG's resolve. Meanwhile, Liverpool's interest in Barcola represents a clear statement of intent from Arne Slot's regime. The Reds are looking to inject fresh pace and creativity into their attacking third, and Barcola fits the profile perfectly. His ability to cut inside from the left flank and create havoc in the final third has drawn comparisons to some of the Premier League's finest wingers. The 22-year-old's versatility is another massive attraction. He can operate effectively on either flank or even through the middle, giving Slot the tactical flexibility he craves. However, Bayern Munich's involvement adds a significant layer of complexity to this saga. The German giants have a proven track record of swooping in for France's brightest talents, and their financial muscle could prove decisive. Sources close to the Bavarian club suggest they are prepared to table an offer that would eclipse Liverpool's rumoured £45 million valuation, potentially triggering a bidding war that could spiral well beyond PSG's comfort zone. In another twist, the timing of PSG's contract offer reveals just how seriously they are taking these transfer links. Club president Nasser Al-Khelaifi has reportedly given the green light for a significant salary increase that would make Barcola one of the highest-paid wingers in world football. The proposed 2-year extension would not only secure his immediate future, but also increase his release clause to astronomical levels, effectively pricing out most European suitors. The pressure is mounting on Barcola to make a career-defining decision. At 22, he's at the perfect age to make a transformative move that could catapult him into the upper echelons of world football. Liverpool's recent success under Jurgen Klopp and now Arne Slot offers an incredibly attractive proposition, the chance to compete for Premier League titles and Champions League glory whilst developing under one of Europe's most progressive coaching setups. But here's where it gets really interesting. PSG's desperation to keep Barcola suggests they view him as integral to their long-term project. The club's hierarchy believes he could be the cornerstone of their next generation, the player around whom they build their post-Mbappé identity. This internal belief system could work in Liverpool's favour, as it demonstrates just how valuable an asset they are pursuing. As January approaches, expect this saga to intensify dramatically, with all three parties knowing that the stakes couldn't be higher. News 2. The Federico Chiesa situation at Liverpool has taken another dramatic turn that's left fans scratching their heads and questioning Arne Slot's long-term plans. The Italian maestro's exclusion from Liverpool's Champions League squad has sent shockwaves through the footballing world, reigniting intense speculation about his Anfield future just months after his highly anticipated arrival from Juventus. Chiesa's omission from Europe's premier competition represents one of the most controversial decisions of Slot's early tenure. The 27-year-old was brought to Merseyside amid great fanfare, with Liverpool paying up to £12 million to secure his signature from the Italian giants. However, his European exile suggests that all might not be well behind the scenes at the AXA training centre. Turkish powerhouses Beşiktaş have already made tentative inquiries about Chiesa's availability, sensing an opportunity to pounce on Liverpool's apparent uncertainty. The Turkish Super League giants were hoping to capitalise on the extended transfer window, which remains open until September 12th. But Liverpool's hierarchy have made their position crystal clear. Chiesa is absolutely not for sale at any price. However, the mixed messages surrounding Chiesa's situation have created a perfect storm of confusion and controversy. On one hand, Liverpool are publicly backing their Italian investment, insisting it remains an integral part of their attacking blueprint. On the other hand, his Champions League snub suggests a lack of faith that contradicts these public statements entirely. The timing couldn't be more critical, especially with the reported departures of Luis Diaz to Bayern Munich and Darwin Núñez to Al Hilal, creating massive gaps in Liverpool's attacking arsenal. Chiesa's experience and proven pedigree at the highest level should theoretically make him indispensable during this transitional period. His stunning 89th-minute volley against Bournemouth on the opening day demonstrated exactly what he brings to the table, moments of pure magic that can transform tight matches. Meanwhile, Chiesa's personal situation adds another layer of complexity to this unfolding drama. The former Juventus star has appeared in all 3 of Liverpool's Premier League fixtures so far this season, suggesting that his domestic form hasn't warranted such drastic European exclusion. His work rate and tactical discipline have impressed coaching staff, making his Champions League omission even more puzzling for observers.in. Another twist. Serie A giants Napoli and Atalanta were monitoring Chiesa's situation throughout the summer, particularly when he missed Liverpool's pre-season Asian tour due to a minor injury concern. These clubs remain lurking in the background, ready to pounce if Liverpool's stance softens or if Chiesa grows frustrated with his European exile. The psychological impact on Chiesa cannot be understated. Having moved to Liverpool with dreams of Champions League glory, being excluded from the continent's most prestigious competition represents a crushing blow to his professional ambitions. However, sources close to the player suggest he's determined to fight for his place and prove his worth to Slot's revolutionary system. Arne Slot's attacking transition continues to evolve, with Alexander Isak's record-breaking £125 million arrival adding even more competition for places. Chiesa now faces a daunting task of proving he deserved to be part of Liverpool's European future whilst managing the disappointment of missing out on Champions League action. The coming weeks will be absolutely crucial in determining whether this represents a temporary setback or the beginning of the end for Chiesa's Anfield adventure. News 3. Behind closed doors of the AXA training centre, Liverpool's long-term planning has reached a level of sophistication that will leave you absolutely speechless. The Daily Mail have uncovered details about a defensive strategy that goes far beyond typical transfer planning, and what I'm about to reveal shows just how seriously the club are taking their succession planning. This isn't just about buying players. This is about securing Liverpool's defensive future for the next decade. The story centres around Jarell Quansah, the 21-year-old centre-back who left Liverpool for Bayer Leverkusen this summer in a £35 million deal. Most supporters thought that was the end of the story, but I've managed to confirm that there's far more to this situation than meets the eye. Lewis Steele in the Daily Mail has revealed that Liverpool have already agreed personal terms with Quansah for potential return, should they exercise their €60 million buyback clause in 2027. Want to know why this is such a big deal? It's all about Virgil van Dijk's future. Sources within the club suggest that the Dutch captain will most probably be leaving when his contract expires in 2027, by which time he'll be approaching his 36th birthday. Rather than scrambling for replacements at the last minute, Liverpool have been planning this transition for years. The Quansah situation is just one piece of an incredibly complex puzzle. Here's where the story gets even more fascinating. The club have also been monitoring the development of Giovanni Leoni, the 18-year-old Italian defender they signed from Parma. The lad has been progressing so rapidly that he's already earned his first call-up to Italy's senior national team. Meanwhile, there's still confidence at Anfield that Marc Guéhi will eventually join from Crystal Palace, despite this summer's failed pursuit. But the masterstroke is a Quansah arrangement. By selling him to Leverkusen, Liverpool achieved multiple objectives simultaneously. They received £35 million in transfer fees. They ensured Quansah would get regular first-team football at the highest level, and crucially, they maintained control over his future. The pre-agreed personal terms mean there will be no complications if they decide to bring him back. From what I'm hearing, this level of forward planning extends throughout the squad. With Ibrahima Konate's contract running until 2026 and his future uncertain, plus Joe Gomez having come close to leaving in recent transfer windows, the defensive department needs careful management. Everyone's got an opinion about whether this approach is genius or overly complicated, but anyone who understands modern football knows that this sort of strategic thinking is essential. The situation becomes even more intriguing when you consider Arne Slot's tactical preferences. The Dutch manager values defenders who can play out from the back and contribute to build-up play, exactly the sort of attributes that made Quansah such a promising prospect in the first place. By 2027, should he return. Kwanzaa would arrive as a mature, experienced defender ready to step into a leadership role. Meanwhile, this layered approach to squad planning demonstrates Liverpool's evolution under FSG's ownership. The days of reactive transfer strategies are firmly behind us, replaced by a sophisticated system that anticipates future needs years in advance. Some reckon it's a perfect way to maintain continuity. Others worry about putting too much faith in young players. But the fan base is divided on whether this represents progress or unnecessary complexity. And you, Liverpool fans, what do you think of today's news? Share your honest opinion in the comments. We want to hear from you.